You never see it coming. When you think you're going to open a present, and in fact, it's not. As an executive coach, I've always thought that every single executive I get to work with is a present I get to open. And most of the time, there's an investment being made, so I'm counting on this person being successful. So when I got engaged to coach Heather, and the very first meeting that I have is with the CEO, and he says, "You are her last hope." Well, we're going to be finishing this in a month? It was so ominous that when I met Heather, I thought, is she as discouraged as I am inside about what's going on for her? It was worse. She had been a successful person in the apparel industry. She had a phenomenal track record. And yet this person sat in front of me, angry and upset. And how she stood there and said to me, 2022 was a horrible year. Everything around me changed. The CEO came in new from the private equity firm, and he doesn't know anything about our specific part of the apparel industry. Cleaned out everybody who was on the executive leadership team. And I had allies on that team, trusted allies. And I'm the only one of the old guard that's still standing. And that's not even the worst part. I'm like, oh God, what else are you gonna say? My team. They're scared. They can't produce outstanding results from that place. It takes every ounce of energy of mine to come in here and put a smile on my face for them. I asked her, why are you here? She said, we're the most profitable division. That's the first time I heard confidence in her voice. And I thought, okay, I have an opportunity here. The pace of change that leaders are experiencing now is really unprecedented. And it's not going to change anytime soon. Yet she didn't have the tools for how to deal with that. I do, and I thought, we're going to make her successful. So a couple of other things I learned along the way, because once I realized that she had a lot of talent and had the ability to get somewhere, I just asked the CHRO, how much is she making compared to the new people that are on the executive leadership team? And she said, honestly, she's 25% below. I said, okay. I had my challenge. I had my desire to make her life complete. And so I had the good fortune of spending time with her and teaching her a couple of my little tricks. One of them is about reframing. One of the things I've learned in life, we've heard this from a lot of speakers, it doesn't always turn out the way you think it's going to. So whenever I hear really, really bad news, like he was giving me that time, my little saying is, right on time. Of course this information is in front of me right on time, because I'm connected to source, I'm connected to God, and I will get the right answer. And it has never failed me. And I'm here standing to tell you that I have many decades of that experience. So teaching other people to reframe in the moment, to arrive at an opportunity to be able to look at their circumstances differently, is such a joy to watch them go through that process. But they have to come to terms with what is it that's blocking them. And in her particular case, she was in crisis leadership mode. Everything around her looked dangerous because she was resisting the reorganization. And I said, that's not in your power. It's here. Do you want to be a part of them or not? And she said, I just think that they don't think I'm good enough. The whole victimhood self-talk that we have that says you're not good enough. And I said, well, let's take a look at your track record. You're working with big companies, Levi's, Columbia. You're working with all these different companies. They come back to you for orders and orders. Why do you think they do that? Maybe we should interview them. Maybe we should learn from them what they see in you. And in that process, she realized that she had been making her team and the organization the enemy, and they were in her line of fire. And she said, I can't do that anymore. And I said, you need to go back to your inner wisdom. We all have inner wisdom. We arrive at it some way. And you now need to tap into that. As soon as she did that, new contracts, long-term growth. Now we're at the last meeting with her, the CEO, talking about her goals and how she accomplished them. And he's like, do you know Heather has talent to set the right direction? She has talent to harness her team's energy? Oh my God, look at what we've been able to do. Now, he knew, I knew, that she was paid 25% less. And I looked at him and he said, and for your information, she's the second highest executive here at the company after me. And we're going to keep it that way. Now, she invites me to expensive dinners to thank me for it. I said, you could stop anytime you want. But the real purpose for me here is to share that we are all experiencing different changes. So when you're in relentless change that takes you away from performing at your best, give yourself permission to take a beat and go back to your inner wisdom. Have the presence of mind to reframe, whether you want to do that with a statement or you want to do that with a color or with a scent or whatever it is that you want to do. We can do that because you deserve to be the best leader that you can possibly be. Thank you.